Let's see. Paul, D.C., you're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hi, Andrew. Independent voter here, Ronald Reagan voter, independent businessman. The way you talk about the federal government, though, is disturbing to me because it's almost as if the state governments are all elected the way the founders intended, and the federal government is just an unelected dictatorship. You know, you call it the central authority, and by that time it'll be too late. And so it's never too late. We have a republic, an elected.
No, we don't. We have long jettisoned the concept of a republic.
Look, the folks in Congress are all elected by the people. The last time I checked,
that doesn't matter though. The concept of a republic is limited powers. No,
elections,
see, now you're taking the positivist view of government. You're taking the Woodrow Wilson, Oliver Wendell Holmes line that if the people elect their government can do no wrong because they are a reflection of the people.
I didn't say they do no wrong, but I'm also taking issue with you characterizing the entire federal government as basically an unelected, unaccountable virtual dictatorship, and that's simply not the case.
Well, so when you have federal bureaucracies that are created by fiat, who have regulations that are tantamount to law, regardless of what the legislature says, then yeah, you have tyranny.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me whatever you want.
No federal agencies are created by some mystical thing called a fiat. And they're created by laws which are enacted by representatives of the people.
That doesn't matter, sir. That doesn't matter. The people can't. The concept. You're wrong. The concept of a republic means that there are limited powers to the government unless the Constitution is amended to afford them more powers. A simple democratic vote does not override the Constitution. You tell me where the federal government has the authority to have a Department of Education.
I didn't say that it... is that in someone listening to you could easily get the impression that the federal government is not composed of people who are elected.
I never said they weren't elected, but if they are exercising authority that they are not afforded, then it doesn't matter if they were elected. If 51, no, stop talking for a second. If 51% of the population decided to make rape legal, would you support that?
No.
Why not? It's democracy.
That's a completely bogus.
No, it's not. You're saying that the people can elect whoever they want to do whatever they want.
I didn't say that. I said that the federal government is composed of people who are elected by the people.
I never said they weren't elected, sir. But because they were elected by the people does not mean that they have whatever authority they wish to have. I'm asking you to tell me where I can find in the United States Constitution the power of the federal government to dictate education policy.
And the purpose of my call was to take issue with you characterizing them as a dictatorship. When you were...
sir, no. I'm going along with you on this. Does a dictator have limits to his authority?
The answer to the question, you were asking all those questions. I'm not a constitutional scholar, and what I would say is... You
don't have to be, just read it.
It's a very simplistic view, Andrew. Yeah,
it's a very simplistic document. It's a very simple document, sir.
Listen, there are people who have read the document, and you know this perfectly well, who can read that and come up with vastly differing opinions on what the intent is. Well,
that's because. Well, hold on, Paul. No, I'll hang up on you. I don't need you yelling at me. This is a conversation here. The people who read the Constitution and come up with some differing view have never read the Constitution straight up without annotation. Have taken a class on it where they're getting the influence of a professor, or they've just never read the notes of the founding fathers.
You know what? Personally, I would find that, and obviously it's your program. Do what you want. I would find this program a lot more valuable on this topic if when you are asking these questions, which are good questions, I'll give you that, if you had someone here with an opposing viewpoint who was who was very a constitutional scholar who took an opposing viewpoint, so that when you pose these questions, which are rhetorical questions because it's obvious you have an opinion, that could then answer them with something other than telling your audience what they're already predisposed to want to hear.
Well, Paul, two things. One, we invite prominent liberals on this program every day. And every day they say no. For example, Hilda Solis Doyle is up here today. We put in a request. She is going to do 10 different shows. I'm not one of them. So I will get down on my hands and knees and beg prominent liberals, constitutional scholars, heads of think tanks to come on this program. They don't want to actually sit down, one copy in my hand, one copy in their hand, and debate the actual... Look, Paul... You have to have more faith in yourself. I'm going to let you go after this. Do you read the English language? I'm not trying to insult you. I'm asking you a simple question. Can you read the English language? Do you think to yourself that you can comprehend what you read?
Of course.
Do you honestly believe that the framers created a document only to be read by an esoteric group of legal scholars, or was the Constitution a treatise on rights that was to be understood by all citizens of this republic?
The latter is the obvious answer.
So then that means you and I can read it together and understand whether we are scholars or farmers, our rights and the limits of our government. To offer up the power to interpretation to other people because they claim superior knowledge is to say that we are subordinate to their academic pedigree. I am not subordinate. I am a free man. So are you. Now think for yourself. Sirius XM Patriot.